Before we begin, have you ever wondered what happens inside places the world has abandoned? Tonight's story takes us deep into the frozen corridors of an old Romanian hospital, a place where the dead were kept and where some say they never stayed dead at all. Welcome to Insidious Tales. St. Bridget Hospital, known in Romanian as Spitalul Sfânta Brigita, sits on the far edge of Sighișoara like a wounded creature forgotten by time. 30 years ago, a violent fire tore through its walls, leaving behind charred rooms, collapsing hallways, and a haunting silence that refuses to die. After the fire, the building became a morgue. And with that transformation came rumors, cold, disturbing whispers from the workers who guarded the dead, bodies shifting when no one touched them, soft knocks from inside the storage drawers, faint footsteps echoing down empty corridors exactly at 12 a.m. One by one, the workers quit, terrified, sleepless, unable to second longer in that place. Eventually, the morgue shut down. Nobody went near the building again. Nobody, except Vlad Corbin, a Romanian urban explorer notorious for debunking myths about haunted places. To his viewers, he was fearless. To himself, he was simply curious. On a cold autumn night at exactly 8 p.m., Vlad packed his gear, flashlight, recorder, spare batteries, and finally his camera, which he almost forgot as he stepped out the door. He drove for hours. By the time he reached St. Bridget, the moon was high and the wind carried a faint smell of burnt wood, as if the fire had never left. The rusted iron fence was strong, but the wire mesh wasn't. Vlad cut a hole large enough to crawl through. His boots crunched loudly on the gravel as he approached the chained front doors, secured with thick padlocks that hadn't been touched in years. "No problem," he whispered to himself. A shattered window on the side gave him access. He climbed through and landed in a hallway drowning in dust and decay. Peeling paint, cracked medical posters, old IV stands left like skeletons in the dark. He hit record. For nearly an hour he explored, narrating everything, occasionally laughing at the so-called haunted legend. Then, 12 a.m., the time when the dead were said to wake, Vlad stood in the middle of a corridor, listening, waiting, nothing, not a whisper, not a sound. He smirked into his camera. "Another myth busted," he said proudly. After 30 quiet minutes, he began heading back toward the broken window, ready to leave with proof that St. Bridget Hospital was nothing but an old ruin. But then, crash! Something smashed against the floor in the room beside him. Vlad froze. A wave of cold panic crawled up his spine. "Hello?" he whispered, even though he didn't want an answer. He peeked into the room. Nothing. Just darkness. He exhaled shakily and leaned against the wall, relief washing through him. He turned, stepping inside, and stopped breathing. By the broken window stood an embalmed corpse, upright, motionless, its head drooping forward as if asleep. Vlad didn't move. The corpse didn't move. Then, slowly and possibly, its head lifted. The face was pale, stiff, unnaturally stretched into a cold, inhuman smile. The dead man's lips parted slightly, and in a decaying whisper it breathed, "Run!" Vlad's instincts exploded. He bolted. He sprinted blindly through the corridors, knocking over rusted trays, slipping on dust-coated tiles, desperately searching for any exit. His flashlight shook wildly in his hands as he stumbled into a dark room and slammed the door shut behind him. He panted, struggling for air. His heart hammered like it was trying to escape his chest. He lifted his flashlight, searching for a light switch. The beam caught something on the wall, a faded, cracked sign that read, "Handle the bodies with care." His breath hitched, his fingers trembled as he flipped the light switch, soft buzzing, flickering, and then the room lit up. Vlad turned slowly, and the scream died in his throat. Around him, surrounding him, were 20 embalmed corpses, standing shoulder to shoulder, all facing him. Every one of them wore the same stretched, chilling smile. For a heartbeat, the room was frozen. Then they moved, as one, charging toward him with unnatural speed, their smiles widening, eyes empty yet horribly aware. Vlad's scream echoed through the abandoned hospital and was swallowed whole by the dark. No one ever found him, only his camera, lying just outside the building, its battery still warm. If you enjoyed tonight's story on Insidious Tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new nightmare. Tell me in the comments what you think happened to Vlad. And share this video with someone who loves a good scare. Sleep well if you can.